We call to the stage now one who must have noticed this, Mr. Anish Ramachandran, father of Shalaka, who is graduating this year. Mr. Anish is Director, Human Resources of Intel South Asia.
Good evening. I must admit, I stand here feeling hugely inadequate, following on after the really confident speeches of the three who preceded me. Good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, proud parents, and the graduating class of 2012. It is indeed an honor and a privilege for me to be standing here today, an honor and a privilege I had least expected. About a week or 10 days ago, when I got the invite to come and speak over here, I spoke to Shalaka about it. One half of me was hoping that she would tell me, I don't need to come and I don't need to speak here. But the exact opposite happened. She wanted me to come here. She wanted to hear me speak. And I guess the other half of me was half hoping that she would actually say that. And I was secretly pleased, though I didn't tell her that. Today is really not an evening for speeches, certainly not by parents. This evening belongs to the graduating class of 2012. And I'll try and make this as brief as I can. When I jotted down a few points to speak, I wrote those down from the perspective of a parent and a father readying himself for the prospect of his daughter leaving home pretty soon. She will go on to chart her own path, create her own destiny, and as all parents would probably vouch, readying oneself for that prospect is certainly not easy. Suddenly 18 years feel as though they have passed by too soon. Suddenly you're looking to turn the clock back and seeing how you can hold on to the past. And as we all know, that is not possible. So I grabbed this opportunity here to speak to her and the rest of the graduating class of 2012. I hope some of what I say resonates with you, and some of what I say is actually a reflection of what your own parents would have to say to you. So here goes. I'm sure all of you have heard your parents talk about the fact that your generation has had it so good. There are so many choices and so on and so forth. It's not just your parents. All the other sundry well-wishers who pass through your life have also probably told you that you're really lucky to have all of these choices. That their generation, our generation, probably didn't have it so good, and we are living the lives of and the choices of our own parents and grandparents. For the most part, that is probably very true. But yet, be that as it may, one of the things that I also see is that all of us, parents and students alike, there is a certain sense of hurriedness in making our choices. There is a certain reassurance that we get by saying that I've got the calling, I've realized the calling of my life, I've made the choices that I wanted to. As a parent, I feel that. As a parent, I feel reassured in being able to tell myself and tell others that I know what my daughter wants to do. But in my more lucid moments, when I think back, I also realize that there is really no point in this hurry. And my point to all of you is, take the time to think through your choices. Take the time to experiment. Make the time to smell the roses as you go along. Feel the confidence to say, I chose something, I didn't get it right, and now I'm going to try a different path. Your life is really not a race. Don't make it one. You control what you make out of your life. And it is when you retain the control in your hands that you really start feeling the power of all the choices that you have. Your teachers see you as students and will, in all likelihood, see you as students first and foremost. Your parents see you as children, and I will see you as my children first and foremost. The world will see you shorn of your school uniform and place the burden of being a citizen of this world on you. When you step out tomorrow, you step out not as students, but as young men and young women. And as much freedom as you think you will get, that freedom comes at the cost of that burden of responsibility that gets placed on your shoulders. The question for all of you, and for all of us, really, is how are you planning to step up and take on that responsibility? What will you do individually and collectively to rise up to that occasion? That really is the question in front of all of us. I usually never win an argument with Shalaka. I often wonder why I argue. But I do. And I think I will continue to do so. For the simple reason that it is when we argue that I think she is really speaking with me. Most of our arguments are about speed. The speed with which she wants to get things done. The speed with which she wants to get to from one place to another. The speed with which she wants to get a word out of her mouth and cut me off. And it is at those moments that I realize that I wish there was some way to say, you may not realize it now, but there is a virtue in patience. From a lifetime spent in corporate slavery, I can tell you, one of the most valued attributes in leaders that enterprises will pay a huge premium for is called judgment. Judgment is a big word. It's an amalgam of probably many different things. But for me, when you start peeling the onion, judgment is about character and wisdom and intuition and choices and patience. You will be at several crossroads in your life. Those crossroads will probably come every other day. And at each of those crossroads, you will be required to make judgment. Know when to fight and know when to step back. Know when to speak and know when to bite back a nasty retort. Know when to take a risk and know when to play safe. Your responsibility in exercising that judgment will probably be the biggest favor that you do to yourself. Not just to yourself, but to also people around you. This next point, I debated whether to include it or not, but decided to go ahead. And what I wanted to say is, be spiritual. I don't mean religious, but be spiritual. Have a connection with and a respect for a higher power, far more powerful than all of us collectively. Some find it through meditation, some find it through prayer, some find it through solitude and some reflection. Find your own way to get to that connection and make that connection with yourself. Remember, there will be times when you feel blue. There will be times when you are asked questions of yourself. There will be times when you ask questions of yourself as well. And it is at these times that you will need to fall back on that connection with your innermost core. And that is what will see you through all those times. And this last one is probably the simplest. We want the best for you. We want you to be happy. We want you to be doing all the right things, and we want you to be the happiest doing all of that. Whoever said that the world is at your feet and go forth probably did not know what they were talking about. The world is probably not at your feet, but it desperately needs young men and young women like you. And I speak for every father and every mother and every teacher sitting here today when I say, remember, we love you. Perhaps a love you will all understand better when you have children of your own. But for now, in Robert Noyce's words, don't be encumbered by history. Go off and do something wonderful. go and make all of us proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
For our graduates, our singers will sing I Have a Dream, originally rendered by ABBA, the group from Sweden. An evergreen favorite, it expresses what each of our graduates must be thinking and feeling on this momentous occasion.
I have a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything, and to see the wonder of a fairy tale. You can take the future, even if you fail. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, when I know the time is right for me. I'll cross the stream. I have a dream. I'll cross the stream. I have a dream.
We hope that was enjoyed by one and all. Thank you, singers.